G'day, welcome to part 5 of my All Countries mode. As we continue to take on the world here. Alright, so definitely where we left off, our issue was the amount of traffic coming down this way, and we can see that Rome is getting hit pretty bad. So we've added that long line that takes us to direct to India to hopefully help it out a little bit, but also at the same time it's possibly just putting a bit of a tighter squeeze on Rome. I have to keep an eye on how they're doing. They are still at, there are 20,000 population airports. So I mean, hopefully it can sustain. If it does hit that 30,000, then that's where we need to make a shift to work out a different way to approach getting people to India. Now, ideally, what we want is Kazakhstan. We want Kazakhstan so that we can bounce people through this way. We've got Djibouti up next, which I think is down. Is it India? Indian African. We're gonna have to concede. Yep, I don't know. Where is he? Ah, sneaky little guy. Well, we can see we're now paying 100,000 for our routes, our countries. So we've got to certainly got to be on point. Now, I think the one thing that will help is that I am upgrading a lot of our planes to the fastest sort of jets. The faster we can move people from one place to another, the faster we're going to make money. So hopefully that's a working strategy here. And even there's some planes that can also try and just up a bit more. Somewhere like Ankara, you can see how much this route of it and Tehran have dramatically been reduced, courtesy of this Roman Express. Of course, Rome itself isn't too great, but that is still going down. I think it was 17,000 when we were looking at it just before, so not too bad. All right, Bangladesh up next. And that can just go straight into Delhi too. Congo. So we are really bouncing around now to our different locations. So we'll do a quick little addition of places. The 700 cost flight at this point in the game. Which I do wonder if that's an argument for why you should try and just forcibly add your long routes early, because it's actually not going to be as expensive. Now we can see how many red planes are still crossing the Atlantic here. We will still run that all the way to Delhi. I don't think I mean, I assume Bangladesh is a pretty populated country. I mean, my knowledge of Bangladesh is that I know they play cricket, but they're not necessarily a cricketing superpower. Australian, that's the majority of what I'd know about the subcontinent would come from what they do in cricket. Zambia, is that southern Africa? Yep, good. Now, have I overshot there? Should these guys, maybe these guys should be connecting to Botswana. We'll let that be our major route down. I think that was my plan a while ago, but it's been a little while since we dealt in Southern Africa. And what we'll do is we'll get Cyprus in here too. And we'll go Cyprus to... We'll go to Ankara, because I know that that's not getting hit as much now that it's not worrying about India. We'll zoom in to see Delhi at this point. Delhi is definitely busy. Houston's feeling a bit of burn too. There's a lot of India, what Houston's currently struggling with. Alright, let's upgrade these planes that's one I was getting a bit unhappy about. And I suppose it was only maxing out at 1,000, well, not even 1,000 people, so see how we go. So there is a bit of it that's just heading to Los Angeles and Phoenix and so on. And then the other stuff is that there's a lot that just needs to head out over the Atlantic. Now, in terms of heading this way, I think we'd like Bangkok as a capital point through here too, and then Jakarta. So that would mean that I'd have Chennai connected to Jakarta and Bangkok, and then Delhi connecting down to Bangkok. Otherwise we're looking alright, with the exception of Rome. It is still all India. Okay, so what we'll do then... maybe what we should do is just build a second Roman express line that goes to Chennai. I think that to get this to work, we're just going to have to drag the screen. $54,000 route there. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll wait till this guy hits Iran. We'll add our second one. Wait till he hits Iran. Because this shouldn't increase the amount of places people going to Rome, because they would have already had to sort of to get to Chennai, you would have had to have gone through through Delhi. So what this is doing instead is it should hopefully just relax what Rome has. So you can see, are they both northern? There we go. Well, Chennai's in there as one of the major ones, so at least this part of their problem is going to be hopefully addressed a bit better. And that's southern too, isn't it? Yeah, so 2 of the top 4 are southern cities. Hopefully we see that cleaned up a bit for them. That guy's not maximum, is he? There we go. See, with this one, I can't click on where Agartala is, and I don't know where Agartala is. There it is right there. Okay, cool. So I was going to have to zoom out to try and figure that out. So I don't know if that means that what we should be doing is increasing the size of Agartala's flying fleet. And for the most part, Delhi is now doing a really good job of managing the amount of like the people come in, but then there's so many planes coming in that they're all dividing amongst that we're looking pretty good. How's that making Rome look a little bit better? A little bit. Okay, now someone else was... What was I just looking at? I was about to tell me about somewhere. That's alright. Alright, so... Agartala? Hey, you unhappy. Don't really have too many people there. It's just your very small airport. That's okay. Alright, so let's just give them a bit more of an efficient plane system, even though they're very close. It's a very long flight that they are taking out of there. And Agartala is the main place that now you're going to see everywhere in the world is shifting people to, which means that this line that we've currently just been having plenty of drama with is just going to have a little bit more drama for a bit while we have the whole world try and get to the Bangladeshi city of Agartala. Agtala. I keep saying Aga. There's no A in there. Agtala. Someone complained about being... Alright, we've got a few in here. So India continues to boom away. Alright, let's get Palestine on the board. We'll head them down to Cairo as well. Zimbabwe. Another country that my knowledge of it comes from cricket. Andy Flower, I recall, is a great Zimbabwean cricketer. Played for South Australia for a little bit in the domestic league. Ukraine. I don't think that Ukraine needs to be a hub. I think that these guys are sort of all moving around okay without it. How's Rome doing? I mean, that's not surprising that Agdala is what's sinking us here. But at least once they get, like, it is that direct flight, so there's not too many people that are just sitting in Delhi. It's more a Rome problem. I guess maybe a Cairo problem. The good news is that Cairo is sending people through this route, the less busy route, and Rome's sending it through the other. So that's sort of the system working, which is good. Even though Mumbai is heading north, I'll get this guy that is north of Mumbai to head south, because really I should have Mumbai on the south, but I don't know. We'll leave him as is for now. Alright, looks like a lot of that that Bangladeshi traffic is now gone. So hopefully the normal flow of planes can adjust and correct. Rome's still trying to recover from it. Bit tricky when you come late to one of those and you don't know where all the people were that it was complaining about. Just upgrade Cairo once. Karachi. Again, it's all that sort of traffic heading towards India. Let's with our 1.2 million, let's make that connection too. What we'll do is we'll put let's put 3 planes on it. I don't think we need a full fleet. That. It's still coming thick and fast in India. Now, I'm not sure that there'd be any worth in having, like, a more divided India than what I've got. I think that even though there's so many places that are relying on Delhi, and that being said, if Delhi goes down as a shutdown city, there's going to be problems. Particularly since I can't pause. I've got the money that I could correct it, but the amount of time that I would need could definitely become an issue. What we'll do, and the way I might approach this, is I'll just sort of leave... My job will be to manage the existing world. I've got a ton of money, but we'll let that get down to 30 minutes. And once we're down to 30 minutes, then we'll worry about... trying to like add a few more countries and hopefully boost us back up to about an hour. Now we'll just sort of let the world go. Although I think there is a tiny, not danger, but there's a risk in just sort of sitting there watching the world for too long that you start to just spend money that you don't necessarily have to spend. And at that point, that's where you might not have the money that you can just sort of continue to upgrade the rest of the world. So this is all still very India heavy, despite the 10 planes that are all flying out. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, I keep wondering where I'm getting this 1 or 2 from, and I realize it's because occasionally a hurricane hits somewhere and it lowers the level. That click then was a very good point. We don't have China in the mix yet, and that could definitely blow things up. But I think that India is being a really handy sort of like, I assume there's going to be a lot of domestic travel in a place like, I don't know if the game designs itself that there should be a certain amount of domestic travel, or it is just purely random about where you're going to. Because with a network like this, you'd imagine that there's a fair few. If there's domestic ones, it should be just what's causing this money to just sort of roll up like it is. But I mean, if there was, you'd imagine that these flights between Chennai and Delhi would be a bit busier. Delhi is certainly, I would say, the most connected city I've got here. Rome is still the struggler. The interesting thing is, it must be the route from Paris. I suppose that what I could do is try and build a route from Paris more direct to somewhere. That it's because if you're flying from... Actually, no, what it would be is if you're flying from the Americas, you land in Paris, and that takes you to Rome, and then Rome is how you get to India. What we need is we need Houston to have a flight path that takes you somewhere on the southern side of things. So if we went, say, Houston to the insanely long flight to Sudan, could, or maybe what we'll do is we'll go Houston to Mali. We'll do this, we'll wait till they get to, yeah, it's probably far enough. I mean, they're not really taking anyone. Oh no, of course they're not, because they're the first flight, so when they leave Houston, they've only got the, say, 20 people on the plane, 50 people on the plane. We've got to wait till they come back for that second trip to see if they actually are taking the people they need. And this will definitely surge the amount of people traveling through Africa. So we've got to be just aware that we don't spend too much money so that we can upgrade all of these African routes. So what we really need to see is, does the first plane that now comes from Houston out this way, is that red? Because we can see there's still red planes heading north. Cool. And so we've got red planes heading south, so that means that hopefully they'll be a bit more addressed. Okay, so we're under 30 minutes. We've got $2 million. Let's go. Ukraine. You can just go to Moscow. Notice this time I'm definitely not having as... Olympics are in Cuba. I'm not having as much... what did I get? A lot of Oktoberfest. I think I had a lot in the last one. See how Cuba goes here, as this is really about to put our new networks to the test. Okay, Tanzania is up next, down here. Is Tanzania famous for Lake Victoria, I believe? It's famous to me for that. Or other people know it for other reasons. Hey, how are we looking, Houston? It does definitely build a fair bit for Mexico City, but that's just because I think as a plane arrives, it dumps people in there, and then the next flight will take them down. But I think we're doing a good job of clearing out a fair bit of this. Let's mustn't be... I don't know, I think it's looking okay. I mean, I realize Havana is about to have... Havana? Now what we can... Paris is now feeling the pinch too. All these people coming for Havana. But, I mean, this... I suppose that's the route. No one, I assume, is flying to Washington to get there. I mean, there's still some red flights that we're getting out of there. We don't want Havana to just sort of sink the whole city. Gonna come very close, though. I mean, I will upgrade it if need be. Again, that's its maximum level, so if anything gets worse than that for Paris, we're going to be cooked because we can't just do a quick fix. But that's the end of... I mean, now global traffic in total has increased, which isn't going to help Paris's case. The problem is that the people going to Houston, Los Angeles, Mexico City are all the ones that are also going to Havana and Sacramento. So that is certainly going to feel a pinch for a while. A simple fix at this game... I don't know how this game could do it in a way that, like, people could go to Washington to try and address this. How could you make this game have a thing that you don't have to take the most direct route to solve one of these, that you could go somewhere else? And at this point, we're just basically watching the city slowly get fuller and fuller. And you can see that these flights to Washington aren't even full. I mean, we do need this to end. I mean, this is as we've pulled at least the African traffic out of going through here. I mean, we could possibly connect Madrid. I mean, that's slowed down again now, so... Oh. I don't really want to focus on anything until we've got Paris back under 20,000. I mean, what's the point if I'm just going to sit here and watch it collapse? And what I could do... I could build a direct route to Havana, just to try and relieve it. It's not a bad idea. We can just sell it afterwards. Alright, so let's go from Paris direct to Havana for $67,000. Now the problem is going to be that these planes are going to have to make a full trip before they actually will do anything about it. But yes, they're going to just be completely stacked on each other because the only exercise that we're doing is just trying to move people in clumps. Now let's just wait anxiously as these 5 planes... And I should have started at the other end, I just forgot the fact that they would leave with 20 people and not... Just make sure that's okay. The problem is if anyone else is now going to just wait through here, like, I assume Los Angeles will still go through Houston, but Mexico City will now wait to go through Havana. Now the good news is, at least with these Havanan flights, they're not bringing anyone back. So as we edge so uncomfortably close, we can see that here they come. Hopefully to the rescue. With no one on them as well. Sort of just take a quick chunk of that down. Alright, so let's get Get a bit more of our countries going since we're down to about 20 minutes. Oh, great. So now an exhibition's being held in Los Angeles. So let's just jam everyone back on that side of the world again. Now, luckily, though, hopefully, that should mean that all those people fly to Houston, not to Havana. So it's still the Havanan planes can just take care of that while Los Angeles becomes its now own fun little problem. But with these two stacked on top of each other, we're going to be in a precarious position. Because, I mean, by the time these 5 guys got back, that was all the way back up to 24,000 again. I don't feel like the same solution will work, that we just do a direct flight to Los Angeles. I feel at that point it's getting too long. Alright, let's try. Instead, let's address these issues first. Okay, instead, let's go Mexico City to Paris. And where's my Paris route? Go. Same thing again, we're just gonna stack the route. We might just spread these guys maybe a little bit further thin than the Havanan flights. We'll wait till he gets out. They're in front. I mean, this is probably not really the point of this one. I would say, actually, probably what I should have done there is rejected that and caused them to drop the amount of people traveling by 2/3, because that would have possibly addressed my current issue. Mexico City I might leave as a more long-term one. Havana, I think this Mexican City one should allow me to pull this that Havana one once it's sort of like cleared its mess up. Just let this last guy sort of delay a bit longer. Ugh. Still getting even higher. I mean, we've just about to have our Havanan cull of people. And, I mean, hopefully the worst of it's over, that all those people going to Los Angeles are now already in Paris or sort of close to it. At least the Havana and the Mexico City sort of secondary problems here are getting addressed. Hopefully. I think this is just painful to sit here and watch, though. I think it's more once we get that Havana group of guys coming in. Well, the good news is, I don't know where Buani is. He definitely didn't take me there. There it is. There we go. So there's the quick Havana Exodus flights. Mauritania. Going south. And that is country 100. I definitely feel like we earn it at the end there. Paris. You can sweat it out the whole way. Definitely on the fence about whether I keep or remove that Havanan route. I mean, now that... I suppose that there's no real cost to keeping it there. The route to flights to Munich. Alright, so the... Now, unsurprisingly, Berlin is feeling the pinch of, Munich doesn't even have a fully fledged 600-seater. So I guess now I've got so many cities that when they can want to travel somewhere, they travel in huge amounts. Now, the Ivory Coast, I think that's just an end, so that's good. Mali. Let's try and get a few moving, especially when we're in this same little area. Gonna go. On. Berlin's sweating again. But I mean, again, it's not the current thing, so Munich should just be on cleanup now. Look at that, Paris is yellow. Beautiful thing. So I mean, the thing is that there's no harm to this Havana route. It will just sort of like move a few people that are going to sort of just get a direct flight to Paris. From there, anyone going to Mexico will wait for the Mexican route. It's really only the sort of small islands that it's catering to. Yeah, I don't know, on the fence with it. Maybe I should have it connected to Madrid, so it's a different route to everyone else. On. Of course. And again, we'll just put you through the absurd hub of Delhi. Just got another city there that I totally missed. Where it was. Houston is still sweating heavy. Oh, of course, it's Los Angeles. I think Los Angeles might just have the one plane. It's still at this point. So we'll definitely help that out. I mean, it's a sort of a hub of its own right, so we'll let it get a second plane so that Houston doesn't collapse under its weight. Okay. So with these guys here, let's just bring Kazakhstan in. Yeah, don't worry, buddy. I'm getting to you. We'll let these guys go through here. You can connect to Moscow. Run. And I'll zoom in because otherwise I'm definitely not going to get Delhi there. Delhi. Now, I don't know how much people are actually going to make the trip through Kazakhstan to go to Delhi. It'll probably be once China's in the fold, there'll be a bit more of a connection across this way. But for now, we'll just leave it with one flight on each path until it starts to really complain about it. Benin. No, wrong city. Malawi. So Houston's again having issues, but still all Los Angeles. That did not take long for... Has that got a name change? I think in one of my other videos someone was commenting on how it had the wrong name. Or that, yeah, but what was the comment? That it locally was known as something different to what it was known as internationally. But its old name was actually just the Kazakhstani word for capital city? I don't know. This is all definitely hearsay that I'm going on here. But I do think that's definitely a different name to the one that gave me a lot of agony in my previous game. Alright, let's do it. Try and do another quick jump of any place that's connected. Now, what is your grief? Where are the majority of people going that you're not getting to? So let's... We've only got the one plane on here. We'll wait for this guy to get about up here. And we'll give you a second plane to try and help address that traffic heading north. El Salvador we'll jump over to. It's a pretty easy one to connect as well. You can see I've got about $3 million not that long ago and I'm down to 1.6. Somalia. You're sort of in the middle of both of these guys. Not sure where. Go north to Sudan. Jumping back and forth to how I'm pronouncing these A's in these countries. Venezuela. Oh, you're going to be out in the middle of nowhere. I guess you might be your own little hub. So we'll connect you there. And we'll leave you there for now. Actually, we wouldn't have been able to afford that connecting flight. Now, how much is Armenia going to cost us? I missed how much I'm paying for these. 400,000. So not too bad for how much money we've got and that we can sit on our hands for an hour before we have to purchase anything more. So I would say that's where we're going to leave this one, with a lot of the north up here almost finished. 100 countries on the board, which is really an exciting achievement to hit there. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.